A town in America has been burning for more than 60 years. Not above the ground, not inside a factory, not in a forest, but deep beneath the streets, homes, and buildings of an entire town. Even more shocking, experts believe the fire could continue burning for another century, possibly much longer. This is the story of Centralia, Pennsylvania, a place that was once a thriving mining community. Today, it is one of the strangest ghost towns in America, and the fire that destroyed it is still alive. To understand what happened, we need to go back to the 19th century. Centralia is located in Pennsylvania's coal region, an area famous for its vast anthracite coal deposits. Coal was everything here. It provided jobs, built businesses, and attracted families looking for a better future. As the mining industry expanded, Centralia grew. By the late 19th century, thousands of people lived in the town. There were schools, churches, shops, and neighborhoods filled with working families. Life revolved around the coal industry. For decades, the town survived because of what lay beneath the ground. Ironically, that same underground resource would eventually destroy it. In the spring of 1962, local officials faced a routine problem. The town landfill needed to be cleaned before Memorial Day. The landfill was located inside an old strip mine near a cemetery on the edge of town. At the time, burning trash was not considered unusual. It had been done before. So local workers and firefighters set the garbage on fire as part of a cleanup effort. But this time, something went terribly wrong. The fire did not stay inside the landfill. Instead, it found a path into the abandoned coal mines beneath Centralia. Those mines stretched for miles underground. Once the fire reached the coal seams, it found an enormous supply of fuel. And from that moment on, the disaster began. At first, nobody realized how serious the situation was. The fire was underground and mostly invisible. People continued their normal lives. Children went to school, parents went to work, businesses stayed open. Meanwhile, beneath their feet, the fire slowly spread through the maze of abandoned mine tunnels. Local officials attempted to extinguish it. Firefighters returned to the landfill multiple times. Excavation projects were launched. Engineers proposed different solutions. But every attempt failed. The fire kept moving, and the longer it burned, the more difficult it became to stop. As the years passed, strange signs began appearing throughout the town. Residents noticed smoke rising from cracks in the ground. In winter, patches of snow melted unusually fast. Some areas of land became dangerously hot. Trees began dying in certain locations. The smell of sulfur sometimes filled the air. Many people were concerned, but few understood the true scale of the problem. The fire was not just burning beneath a single neighborhood. It was spreading beneath a large section of the community. And every year, it grew larger. Then came another threat: toxic gases. As coal burns underground, it releases dangerous gases, including carbon monoxide. These gases can be deadly in high concentrations. Scientists and government officials began monitoring conditions in Centralia. The results were alarming. Some areas were becoming increasingly unsafe. Residents worried about their health. Parents worried about their children. And yet, many families stayed because Centralia was their home. Generations had lived there. Leaving was not an easy decision. During the 1970s and early 1980s, the crisis became impossible to ignore. Roads began cracking. Steam escaped from the ground. Underground temperatures continued rising. One of the most dramatic incidents occurred in 1981. A 12-year-old boy was playing outside when the ground suddenly opened beneath him. A sinkhole formed without warning. The boy fell into the opening and narrowly escaped tragedy after grabbing onto a root while rescuers pulled him to safety. the incident attracted national attention. Suddenly, the danger beneath Centralia was no longer just a local problem. The entire country was watching. Government agencies now faced a difficult question. Could the fire be stopped? Over the years, multiple plans had been proposed. Millions of dollars were spent studying and fighting the blaze. Engineers explored excavation projects. Officials considered sealing underground passages. Different techniques were tested, but the fire had already spread too far. Experts concluded that extinguishing it completely would be extraordinarily difficult and extremely expensive.
Authorities reached a painful conclusion. Instead of moving the fire, they would move the people. In the 1980s, relocation programs began. Residents were offered compensation for their homes. Families started leaving. Neighbors said goodbye to neighbors. Schools closed. Businesses disappeared. Entire streets became empty. What had once been a living town slowly transformed into a ghost town. For many residents, the hardest part was not losing their houses. It was losing the community they had spent their lives building. Some families had lived in Centralia for generations. Now, they were forced to start over somewhere else. As more people left, buildings were demolished. Empty structures were removed. The population continued shrinking. Eventually, the United States Postal Service discontinued Centralia's zip code. The town was literally disappearing from the map. But despite everything, a small number of residents refused to leave. They argued that Centralia was still their home. Some believed the risks were exaggerated. Others simply could not imagine living anywhere else. After years of legal battles, agreements were reached allowing a handful of remaining residents to stay. Today, only a tiny number of people remain in what was once a busy mining community. Meanwhile, the fire continues. Hidden beneath the ground, it slowly consumes coal deposits that have been burning since 1962. Experts estimate that the fire extends across a large underground area and may continue burning for many decades, possibly centuries, depending on available fuel and conditions underground.
Centralia has become famous around the world. Photographers visit to capture its eerie atmosphere. History enthusiasts study its story. Urban explorers travel to see what remains. Many people compare it to a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. In fact, the town is often associated with the inspiration behind the horror franchise Silent Hill, although the real story of Centralia is frightening enough on its own. What makes Centralia so fascinating is that it was not destroyed by war. It was not destroyed by a hurricane. It was not destroyed by an earthquake. Instead, it was destroyed by a fire that most people could never see. A fire hidden beneath the surface. A fire that turned a thriving town into one of America's most famous ghost towns. Today, when visitors drive through the area, they find empty roads, open land, and only a few reminders of the community that once existed there. The schools are gone. Most homes are gone. Most businesses are gone. But the fire remains. Still burning. Still spreading slowly underground. Still reminding us that even small mistakes can have consequences that last for generations. Centralia is more than a ghost town. If you enjoyed this story and want more hidden, forgotten, and mysterious stories from across America, subscribe to America Unknown Files. The next mystery is already waiting.